All right, Corey and Tamsin, that's right. The first ad up is from the NRA, calling her win as a socialist an infiltration. Ocasio-Cortez, as you mentioned, only 28 years old and could soon be the youngest representative in the House. She's not a political insider, runs on a very progressive platform, and her opponent failed to show up to the last two debates against her. She said it from the beginning not to counter out, and her win is sending shockwaves not only across the city, but also across the country.
Still surreal. Still crazy.
It's hard to believe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was just less than a year ago still bartending. Today, she is still processing the stunning defeat she delivered during Tuesday's primaries, defeating 10-term incumbent Joe Crowley in New York's 14th congressional district.
This is a movement. It's a movement rooted in economic, social, and racial justice for working class Americans.
Her political experience doesn't run very deep, and that's perhaps what appealed to her followers. Ocasio-Cortez is a Democratic socialist, a former organizer for the Bernie Sanders campaign, and once even worked for the late Senator Ted Kennedy.
I'm a working class person. I've waited tables. I've worked in restaurants. I know how hard it is to try to keep a family, afloat. And I think that experience is really important to take to Congress, and it's really what we need right now.
She's a third-generation Bronxite, born and raised, her parents from Puerto Rico. This campaign ad outlines her New York story, her New York struggle, and her New York rise to get here.
We've been on this same course for a while, and it hasn't necessarily taken us to the best place right now. And so what I think we should be doing, and what people are more willing to do now more than ever, is to examine all of their options and be willing to make a new choice.
That new choice was Ocasio-Cortez making a twist and turn for the Democratic Party. President Trump tweeted about her opponent Joe Crowley's defeat, in part saying, "This is a big one that nobody saw happening. Perhaps he should have been nicer and more respectful to his president."
If he thinks that Crowley was an issue, he's in for a surprise.
All right, so next up are the November elections. She's up against Anthony Pappas, who ran unopposed in the Republican primary. He is a St. John's professor of economics. I'm Narmeen Chaudhry, Pix 11 News.